more. The Orlando Philharmonic will be performing another concert this weekend. Sunday, it takes up music that we can pretty much bet you've never heard before. And that's because they're all new compositions, and they were written by teenagers who won the Young Composers Challenge. Kristen Kenny introduces us to one of them, a young composer from Tavares.
18-year-old Katharine Armstrong has been passionate about the piano since she can remember.
I just love piano. Just the first time I heard it, I thought it was so interesting that somebody could make that instrument just sound so wonderful and so pretty, and I just wanted to be able to do that as well.
And so she did. The Tavares teen has now been playing for more than 10 years, but she never thought of composing music herself until a conversation with her piano teacher while she was studying music theory.
The best way to put music theory and to, sort of to understand it is to write a composition. So I wrote the composition, and he said, well, there's a competition now in Orlando that maybe you could enter.
This is something that I probably would have wanted to have had the opportunity to do when I was studying music. So as soon as I saw it, immediately started thinking of my students.
The competition was the Young Composers Challenge. It's been held in Orlando every year since 2004. Armstrong did enter, but not only that, to her surprise, her first ever composition actually won.
I had just come home from a class and I was doing my homework, and they called, and I was just so happy.
Armstrong was up against teenagers from across the southeastern states. They had to write a 5-minute ensemble or orchestral piece. Just 6 were named as winners, who will collect cash prizes up to $1,000. But the real prize? The rare honor of having their scores performed by the Orlando Philharmonic Orchestra.
I know of no other contest like this in the world where a professional orchestra plays pieces by kids in high school and middle school.
The Young Composers Challenge is the brainchild of Orlando philanthropist and trained composer himself, Steve Goldman.
I wanted to see, and the other people involved in this wanted to see more young composers coming up. Most kids don't have any access to this venue.
But for the past 4 years, Young Composers has given hundreds of teens that access. The challenge begins with a free workshop in March, where professional composers donate their time to teach more than 150 kids the basics of how to write music for orchestras. With the lessons of the workshop to guide them, Armstrong and the other competitors had until August 1st to labor over their scores before submitting them to a panel of 5 judges, including Goldman.
All of the pieces were good. We had kids who were 13 years old, we had kids who were 18 years old, a broad range of levels of knowledge and style and whatnot. But we picked 3 pieces to be played. We don't pick a first, second, and third place. We just pick 3 pieces to be played for orchestra, and we picked 3 pieces for ensemble.
Armstrong's piece is a finalist in the ensemble category, a composition consisting of a smaller group of instruments.
Piano was what I composed it on, but the instruments that I chose were flute, 2 flutes, a viola, and a cello.
Yeah, it's going to be wonderful.
A pre-English major at Lake Sumter Community College, Armstrong looked to literature for her inspiration.
My piece was based on a work of literature, on Leo Tolstoy's War and Peace. Natasha's Song is the name of it, and it's about Natasha Rostov, a character in War and Peace. And it's just, my piece portrayed what I thought she embodied in the novel. I like the beginning because it starts off kind of melancholy and then it just sort of rises.
It's very melodic. The instrumentation that she chose is very appropriate, and it definitely makes a statement. It's very pleasant to listen to.
As she labored over her composition, her passion for writing began to weave a story of music in her mind.
A very interesting piece, very advanced, pretty sophisticated writing. The harmonies are kind of modern. It kind of creates a nice ethereal mood.
Goldman believes the Young Composers Challenge is a rare canvas for these big statements.
We have a lot of talent in this country. We have a lot of talent in Central Florida, which we've discovered. But if you don't give it an outlet, then it won't go anywhere.
Now Armstrong, along with 5 others, have a chance to have their dreams heard.
I was just so happy to have composed it, and just even more happy to have won.
All right, be sure to check out these young Mozarts in concert this Sunday. It's a free concert, so you don't have an excuse. 2 p.m. at the Bob Carr Performing Arts Center. Now, if you want more information, you know what to do. Simply log on to our website. Well, speaking of music, how does a high school student make her way to the